Hey guys, it is David, the chess nerd bird, with another video here. Right now, I'm actually recording from the Charlotte Chess Center here in Charlotte. I'm up in the tournament hall where we actually play our games. So there is an upstairs and a downstairs. And so right now I'm currently upstairs because a lot of people will start coming in downstairs and talking, and so I didn't want to get interrupted here. So I'm just going to try to get a quick video in and kind of just do a 5-minute blitz game and play and see what happens. I know it's 6 o'clock tonight on chess.com Eastern time, 6 o'clock Eastern time. I know they're going to have an amateur hour on chess.com with John Urschel, a retired NFL lineman and current MIT mathematician, and Danny Wrench. I am Danny Wrench, playing just about everybody. So I've already put it in on Twitter that I'm coming after John in that. So if I get on with him, I will try to post another video of me playing him. If not, if I can't get the video, if I do get to play him, you can expect to see a video of me at least analyzing the game afterwards. So right now, let's go ahead and jump right into a 5-minute blitz game, and we'll see what happens. All right, so I am playing, how do you pronounce that name? Diariovoz? Anyway, and I will start. I've got the white pieces, so I'll put e4. So he plays c5, and this is known as the Sicilian for you non-chess players. So knight f3 is the normal move, and now either black can play d6 or even a6 as a move. He can play the hyper accelerated dragon with g6. So anyway, so we'll just play d4, and now he plays e6. So he's going into this con variation. So now he'll probably take, and then I'll take, and now he'll probably play queen c7, or he plays d6. Okay, so he is playing a little bit differently here. I think we'll just play bishop e3. He'll probably play knight f6 here. So here, just think about how I want to play this. I think I'll just play bishop e2. All right, so he's about to castle, and I think I'll just castle kingside. Sometimes you can play like f3, queen d2, you can castle queenside, those type of ideas, but I think for right now, I think I'll just stick to a little bit safer position here. So as you've seen in my other videos, development. So I've got my rooks connected, I've got all my pieces out and developed, my king's safe, and so we're doing good on that front. I think here I'll just play f4 and try to start a kingside attack. I think that's the general plan in this structure, but we'll see. And then I can either take back with the queen or the bishop. I think taking back with the bishop is a little more correct, but I've been wrong before. Okay. So this is where something I struggle with too. Like, do I put my rook on d1 or do I put it on e1? These are always tricky positions because I'm not quite sure. Obviously I have the open file this way, so I think it makes sense to put it there. But sometimes I think it is better on the e1 square. I'm not sure why it depends. That's the studying I have to do if I want to learn that type of stuff. So he just plays this e5, so threatening this and this. So if I just back the bishop up, then he could take. Oh, not pawns can't take that far. So he could take there, but but then I'm happy because I played my bishop here, and now I've got all this pressure against the d pawn. If I capture and he takes back, and then I push here, then what I've allowed him to do is actually open up this diagonal for the bishop here. And so I think just playing back is better. And of course I have to watch my time, so I'm already down 2 minutes on the clock compared to my opponent. So I've got to start moving faster. All right, so I think, no, I don't want to take. Bishop takes, knight takes, and I was thinking about this in-between move of knight here. But after the queen moves, yeah, I guess that could be okay. And this is the problem when you get low on time, is you don't fully calculate all of the moves anymore. So that's why it's also very important to stay up on your time management. So if he wants to keep guarding this bishop, the queen has to either go here or here. Yeah, and so then once I win that, I think I'll just bring this rook up, so that I could just maybe capture with the rook. But if I capture with the rook, then I hang this pawn. So we got to take back with the queen. And now, yeah, I'll just take back with the queen here because now I've got pressure along this. I'm going to have pressure along this file. And I think if I just play rook here, it blockades this pawn, and now I can start looking at swinging over pieces towards his king. And my king's still relatively safe. I mean, I don't have any illusions that my king is that safe, but I do feel it is at least a little safer than my opponent's, and now I can triple up on this pawn here. Yeah, I think that's okay for me here. I think so. I think this is okay. But I'm not sure. I could just be losing this. I mean, I know I am down on time, so you know that's going to be a factor. He can play his rook to the second now. Yeah, this looks maybe even just drawish here, but it is hard to tell for sure. Just trying to give my king some escape squares here. Yeah, I think I can take that. Okay, I guess that was going to be his point, but now I think I will try to run this pawn down the board. And now this rook's going to step out, give check, and then promote unless he moves his king back to the he's got to move his king back to the second rank here, or seventh rank, if he doesn't want to. Yeah. All right, and so now he can take, I can take, and then pick up that rook, and now I think it is back to being even a win for white now, I think. As long as I don't lose on time. It's going to be a time scramble. At worst, my opponent will have a draw. So there is that. But yeah, if he's just going to stand center board, even with pre moves, he's just going to flag me there. So so yeah, let's go back through this game real quick, because I think. So again, opening was kind of just standard stuff. I mean, we're in the typical con variation here. Typically, Queen C7 is the next move. But okay, so D6, Bishop E3, Knight F6. So I think all standard moves here. Bishop E2. I think white. Honestly, I'm not sure. I know like the plans. I know the plans would be like F4, and then either yeah, with F4, and then either Bishop D2 if the queen's going to go to D2, or he could play Bishop E3 if the queen's going to go to the bishop would go to E3 if the queen's going to go to E2. But I can't remember the exact whys behind those setups. So anyway, so Knight F6 is developing a piece. Bishop E2 develops a piece, and it's not too bad. Bishop E7, castles, Queen C7, Queen up. So here white is fully developed. Rooks are connected. So we are, white for the most part, and this is typical with the con. Usually black does lag in development, and the king usually does stay in the center for a little bit longer than normal. So Knight C6. Typically, I think the knight goes to D7. I know there are some lines where it does go to C6, but I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure why it goes C6 versus D7 in those lines. So I'm not quite sure on that one. So F4, just starting the typical white, push onto the king side. I think white could maybe even play A4, just shutting down B5. But again, I'm not too familiar with the setups in these positions, so take my advice with a grain of salt here. And now he takes on D4, and I think typically you want to try to go ahead and get castled and develop some more pieces before you start trying to open up things in the center, because as we saw in the game, black ends up with some pressure down this D file because he tried to open up the position, I think, a little bit too quickly. But yeah, again, so this is just principles, right? So you've still got these pieces which are lagging, and you're playing a pushing move which is designed to crack open the center, but you're not fully developed. And so when you're not fully developed, you cannot you won't be the one that's really attacking. You'll be more defending. So now typically, I mean, obviously the situation depends. So okay, so I don't think I've ever seen this Bishop G4 move in these positions. Not that I think it's bad per se. I've never seen it. Usually this bishop likes to put itself here and exert pressure down this diagonal. That's typically what I see. So yeah, this move really kind of threw me. And so if you look over here, I spent about 30 seconds on this. And so if I don't capture what are my other ideas, I could always push pass, force him to capture, and I take back. And I think this is something that I really struggle at with my chess play is evaluating these positions. So if I push pass, I mean, what can Black do? I mean, he could play a rook over. He could play this rook over. He could just better his position. He could, yeah, I mean, like a rook over would help prepare this advance, because I mean this square is pretty critical in all these Sicilian lines. This pawn's usually always backwards, so I mean we have a typical Sicilian you know, setup here, but yeah, I'm not sure what else to do in this position. I'm not sure that capturing was necessarily best, but I don't really know what else to do here. So yeah, anyway, we'll move right along. So I capture, and then the idea of putting a knight here, you know, attacking both the queen and the bishop, getting rid of one of Black's, you know, usually a key defender and or attacker. And now instead of worrying about what to do with this bishop and maybe allowing the queen to come in here and create some threats, just decided to play the rook up, because now if queen over, then I can just slide the rook and my position is going to be protected. Now this capture, I don't agree with that. I think as Black, you've got to try to get your pieces, you know, better into the game, better coordinated. But I mean, as we see, I mean, he played it okay, I think, holding me off. Maybe here I should have just gone ahead with the rook over, and then I could have just doubled up, and maybe that would have been a better move. I was going by the principle of blockading, but also preparing this rook to get into the game a lot easier. And then, of course, as we saw, this rook can slide back over. So maybe that was fine too. F6 is pretty much always a weakening move. I guess he was preparing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the king and the queen will still guard the square, even if this rook moves. So I'm not sure if he was worried about that or not. Anyway, but then we trade down and rooking games. So this is where I can definitely get better. I mean, obviously I only had 25 seconds here, but my rooking games, rook versus pawn and king in games, this is definitely something where I spend a lot of time. And I would say if you are USCF, I'm about 1690, peaked out about 1783. So I think if you're right around that rating, USCF, spending time on these rooking games can be very, very beneficial. I think it's very crucial because you do get down to these in games quite a bit. If you study any type of text, rook and pawn in games are the most common. So I mean, it makes sense to study them at any level, but really, I would say below 1600 USCF, really the focus needs to be on tactics and not hanging pieces and calculating accurately. And by accurately, I don't just mean being able to see moves ahead, being able to see moves ahead, but being able to calculate accurately the sense of anticipating all potential replies to your move and not just moves that you think will be played, if that makes sense. So, okay, so principally, I'll play the rook to the 7th, wanting to pick up this pawn. Of course, he could just push. Actually, I mean, he could just push here and then bring the rook back. But then, of course, his pieces could be considered passive, so to speak. And then this rook also, by putting it on the 7th, you also cut off the king. So the king cannot move up. So here he could just play like this pawn up, 1 or 2, and then his king could have a route into the game, right? So that's an idea. So he plays his rook to the 7th as well. So here, I think maybe everything's still a little equal. I think I probably could have played this a little better. When he played a4, I think I should have just played here first and then worked around getting my king out and coming, I don't know. And this is what I need to study and what I need to analyze. And that's why it's important to actually go over your games when you're done. Because right now, what I can do is what I'll do, not on this video, that will take way too much time as I learn and do things, but what I'll do is I'll actually analyze this in game. I'll go into test base and I'll set up this position and I'll pull games that have a similar structure and see, how, white won or how black won, or, how they drew their games, and kind of get ideas about, where everything should be positioned. And I can even do that from back here. So I could even set it up in the database like this, and it'll pull structures that are similar to this. So yeah, anyway, so h3, this idea was to bring out my king and create like a path for my king to get into the game. So yeah, here I think maybe this move is better, but then I do allow his king to get more active. So maybe what I did was fine. Then rook here, offering the trade, he just went back. Maybe I could have just gone back as well. Anyway, I decided to take, he takes. And then, of course, this was a lot of pre-moving because I was down on time. And again, here, black could have made a mistake of even just moving a rook this way and allowing a check. And once he does that, that's not good. Or if he played this way and allowed me to check, and then played his king here, and then obviously I queen. So yeah, just always have to be careful of that little tactic. And then, of course, this as well. I think just one more move, just play the king here. But either way, I think you still end up with the I'm going to win this pawn regardless. So okay, so we went into this, and now this is winning for white, and I demonstrated that in the game. I just was too long on time to actually make the checkmate work. So let's see here. So if I had enough time, I'll just play out this victory for you, so that kind of know how to play this game. So there's a couple different methods with this. I mean, being up 2 pawns, is a pretty easy win. If I didn't have this pawn, then it's a draw, regardless, because the king can just stay in this corner, and I can't force him out if I just have the rook pawn. So okay, so I'm going to play this out just to see if I can actually win this. So actually, can I do this against the computer so you guys can actually see that? Not from here, huh? Okay. So if I play here, I say the king plays this way. Now this is a maneuver called outflanking, when you move your king to this position. So opposition is this. So I have the opposition right now because it's black's move. So he moves away, and then I can outflank, which is what I showed there. And so let's say he backs up, and now I gain opposition again, and then he can play here. And now my king's on the 6th rank, so I can push this pawn. And if he keeps gaining the opposition, if he goes to the corner, this is tricky. A lot of people will play the king here, but that can lead to a draw. So you have to play over here and force the king out of the corner. And so here you have a couple different options. Oh no, don't play that. That would be stalemate. So here, because I have the extra pawn, I have an extra tempo, and so now the king is forced up. This king comes here, and then the black king moves up, and now you queen, and then king and queen checkmate, easy enough. But that is one method to win that endgame. So if you've gotten it down into those positions before, that is a way to win it. Again, just that low in time, you are pre-moving. As long as he keeps his king in the center, without me having enough time to think, that was going to be tough to win. I'm sure, IMs, GMs could have handled that, but anyway. So hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something. And until next time, have a good day.